and welcome to the last episode in season 2. Wow, season 2 already of 50 Shades and Grey. And this is the last one of the year. And today's episode is going to be about just reflecting on all the guests that I've had over the years and the podcasts that we've done this year. Lots of them have been around relationships, dating sites. You need to give the audience what they want. I want to thank you for your support for the podcast. And if people are getting something out of it, and podcast is growing, and that's something I'm really proud of. So please make sure you always following, subscribing, sharing clips that you think are relevant, and give me feedback. What drives me more forward is sometimes the negative things people say, because I'm a stubborn sod and I like to try and prove people wrong. So that drives me forward just as much. That's just cowardly. Why would you do that? I've played football for a lot of years in changing rooms where they hammer the life out of you. I'm used to it. Doesn't bother me at all. But listen, if you're going to throw it, make sure you can take it back again. You might be surprised.
I mean, divorce, moving house, and bereavement, I think, are the three main stressors that you can go through. And divorce on its own, it's like rewriting your entire life. And a lot of the both male and females that I know, maybe getting divorced after being in a marriage after 20, 30 years. And then you're kind of trying to find out where you fit in the world. You're trying to find out where you fit in your world. And I think sometimes people rush into seeking companionship or partnerships, but actually it's probably the most sort of vital time to kind of pause and then do some self-inquiry, because something, about attachment styles, we look at our own attachment style. Am I anxious? Am I avoidant? And then kind of do that inner work so that when you do finally come back out into the dating scene, whatever that looks like for anyone, you can come at it differently.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
And we're not always going to get on with each other. Not everyone is going to be our cup of tea. And that is okay. That is a fact. That is an uncomfortable truth, but a truth all the same. And I think the whole passion for this book is that we will find more comfortable ways to live with these uncomfortable truths, because there's so much fear around the fact of bad things happening, for example. We can ruminate over all those worst case scenarios. We can lose hours of sleep. We can find ourselves not being present at wonderful times because we're just so scared of these times being affected or taken away from us. Or we can find a way to accept that bad things will happen. So how can we really live fully? How can we really...
But as a guy, did it bother you knowing that the person that you were just going, I'm talking to, I presume that you told the person this as well, did you?
Yeah. So I would tell them, and sometimes they would think that was really quite odd, they weren't comfortable with it. Like, what do you mean you're not talking to anyone else? Go and talk to other people. Like, this is too intense. Which I get, it's the way it is.
Needy.
Yeah, too needy. Yeah, you're too sensible about dating. Go and date loads of people. That's a much better idea. But yeah, so I did, and sometimes people thought, oh, that's a bit unusual, and other times people thought, oh, that's great. You're actually just into getting to know me. It's like, yeah. But
really embrace the amazing things in our lives.
Last 4 weeks, I've gone on every kind of date offered. I've swiped on people that I maybe wouldn't swipe on. And I thought, for this whole month, I'm just going to give it my all. And I'm so pleased that I have. It has been very time consuming and emotional and overwhelming. But I think I'm going to go out on this date on Thursday, see what happens. If nothing happens with that, I think I'm going to give it a break for a month or so, take some headspace, try to go to some events like Joe was talking about, see if I can meet people like that. And yeah, I'm not saying that I'm still proactive. I'm still going to love the apps. I still think they're a great way. If you can take it, because it is hard, and be thick-skinned, I will still carry on in them. But I just think you need a break every now and again.
Lisa, how about you?
I've run out of people again, so that's it. I'm just joining a nunnery and I'm done.
Especially when I was in Manchester, I really struggled. I think so as well, I wasn't working as many hours as I am now. So I knew I was going to struggle being on my own a lot, and I guess forcing myself to get up and get out. I think when you live on your own as well, it's quite easy just to rot a little bit. So I knew I was going to find that hard, and I knew I was going to find hard cooking every single meal for myself. I knew that was going to be hard because I'm not a massive cooker at all, But things that I didn't realise was going to be hard is, I would say, the silence. I feel like when you live with people, there's always, like when I lived with my mum, my little sister, there was always like chatter going on, or like someone was watching the TV, or if when I lived with Leah, she'd be in her room watching YouTube, or like there was something. There's always kind of, when I was in Manchester, I really struggled. I think so as well, I wasn't working as many hours as I am now, so just being, I knew I was going to struggle being on my own a lot, and I guess forcing myself to like get up and get out. I think when you live on your own as well, it's quite easy just to rot a little bit. So I knew I was going to find that hard, and I knew I was going to find hard like cooking every single meal for myself. Like I knew that was going to be hard because I'm not like a massive cooker at all, you know. But things that I didn't realize was going to be hard is, I would say, the silence. I feel like when you live with people, there's always, like when I lived with my mum, my little sister, there was always like chatter going on, or like someone was watching the TV, or if when I lived with Leah, she'd be in her room watching YouTube, or like there was something. There's always kind of stuff going on.
I do, but I think you know they're there for a reason. I think everybody's got the best intentions. They all want to meet somebody. You know, everyone's grappling for, you know, a partnership, a coupledom. You know, we look around, everyone's always in a couple. Nothing great about being single at Christmas or Valentine's. But I think at the same time, people have to be realistic sometimes. I think everyone's got overinflated estimations of themselves. Everyone thinks they can date, you know, whoever they think they can date. But the reality is you've got to stay in your league, quite frankly.
I think we all think we're in a much higher league than we were probably actually in.
Yeah, you know, we all think we're in Champions League. We're actually in like the Vauxhall Conference, aren't we, really? So that's the issue. I think it's basically people have got to be realistic.
The difference is there's probably thousands of people out there that are still putting up with it. Yeah. But you made the step of, which is a lot harder to do, going, yeah, I'm not putting up with that. And I think that's the positive thing that you need to look at, is that you're not where you was. You're actually moving forward with opportunities, and sometimes those opportunities are going to be crap and they're going to let you down and blow you out. But at least you've got the chance of more opportunities rather than being stuck in something else you don't want to be in.
Yeah, and I think we're all good at giving advice to other girls. Cam's like, no, you don't, you know, somebody recently was, you know, oh, we're going on second date on Valentine's Day at day one. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. But then there's myself thinking, this guy said, oh, it would be really nice, we can take the dogs for a walk. It's like, we haven't even met yet, so let's not talk about dog walks. And then you do, you know, let's just not get carried away. Let's just see what happens tomorrow.
I think the major difference is there's probably thousands of people out there that are still putting up with it. But you made the step of, which is a lot harder to do, going, yeah, I'm not putting up with that. And I think that's the positive thing that you need to look at, is that you're not where you was. You're actually moving forward with opportunities, and sometimes those opportunities are going to be crap and they're going to let you down and blow you out. But at least you've got the chance of more opportunities rather than being stuck in something else you don't want to be in.
Yeah, and I think we're all good at giving advice to other girls. Cam's like, no, you don't, you know, somebody recently was, you know, oh, we're going on second date on Valentine's Day at day one. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. But then there's myself thinking, this guy said, oh, it would be really nice, we can take the dogs for a walk. It's like, we haven't even met yet, so let's not talk about dog walks. And then you do, you know, let's just not get carried away. Let's just see what happens tomorrow night.
But I'm not going to just settle. You need to at least be on the same energy. You know, you need to be able to match my energy. I need to feel as feminine as I need to be able to feel, as well as feeling as masculine, and someone be able to respect that. You know? And I think we spoke about this as well, where all the woman really wants is for a man to be a man. And you did disagree because you said, you know, women that are the other way. But I mean, that's how I feel. Like, we need that certainty. I'm not saying I need a man to be the one and only provider, because I need to be a provider as well. That's how I am as a strong person. You know, it's all I know. But I also need that emotional support to be like, I've got this, don't worry. You know, like, it's not all just falling on me. So I think I need to meet someone who matches my energy. I'd love to meet someone, but I'm not going to settle, you know. And then there's
that no matter what path you take, you'll end up in the same place eventually of where you're meant to be. And do you think that your life is mapped out? And it's a little bit like a sat nav. One will be horrific and you can have be stuck in traffic for 2 or 3 hours on the M25 or the A1, whatever it may be, but you'll eventually get to your destination. Or is one country roads where you'll see great scenery. You might go a bit further, but it'd be a fantastic drive. It'd be nice and easy. You can have the windows down and play your music, but you'll end up in the final destination? Or is it one that's a little bit of both? It's a bit rocky. You go over a few hills. You got to go through a few bit of chaos, but you'll end up in the same place. Well, I hope you enjoyed those clips. It was great to look back at some of them. I had some great guests. Thank you to all the people that have participated in the show. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and life has got to be a two-way street. So I hope that you got something out of it as well. And I hope all you guys in turn that have watched those people have followed on some of the stuff that they've done as well, especially if you found stuff that resonates with you. But some great clips there. So once again, guys, looking forward to the new year. Season 3 incoming. We'll start next week, and we're going to start with looking at some of your resolutions over the week. So I'll be putting stuff out on Instagram and TikTok, and you can reply to me on this show about what your New Year's resolutions are, or what resolutions you've already broke, or if you think New Year's resolutions are just a complete bloody waste of time. I may be in that camp, but it's a chance for a clean slate for a lot of people. So let me know your thoughts. And thank you again. And make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, and I will see you soon for season 3. Take care, guys. Bye.